Southern Pacific Transportation Company spins book for the Southern Pacific, Maine, from basically San Gabriel to Montclair, including the Chino branch. This video will be the Chino branch. This documents data for 5/28 of 82. It just fell off when it got scanned. SPINS book, this tells you what SPINS stands for, but basically SPINS is how Southern Pacific told their crews, their train crews, where to spot train cars for loading and unloading. This is some of the information that comes in the SPINS book. It basically tells the crews you put box cars by a dock, piggyback cars by the piggyback ramp. This is before forklifts, when they had to load everything elephant style or circus style, auto ramp, etc. And then some of the other miscellaneous codes. So, on to the Chino branch. Remember, this document's for 1982. A lot of things have changed since then. And I'll try and point them out where they can. So here are the businesses. And as you see here, there's a lot of handwritten notes on this document. So it was this lumber company, then it was Sampson Lumber Company. Builders Emporium, where it used to be Angela Distribution Center. Now, if it says spiked, for example here, spiked, that train, that lead was out of service and eventually probably got torn up because there was no business there. California Umbrella, spiked. And when you look over here, 202 feet is how long the spur or siding is, holds 2 cars. And then the code down here is the code I showed you on the page earlier. Sorry if my voice is a little off. I have a cold I can't seem to get rid of. Okay, continuing on. More businesses. FMC Corporation. A lot of people should remember that company. They used to build everything from farming equipment to motorhomes. Brockway Glass, 735 feet of track. Perker Refrigeration, room for 1 car. So on and so forth. More businesses. This is a very busy branch. Back in the 70s, it was crazy busy. Fabergé, for example, Fabergé is gone. I think that they built a Home Depot there. General Telephone, they're no longer in business. So here comes the first map. The solid line here on the left, this is the Alhambra sub, Sunset route. This shows where the Chino branch comes off. The dotted line here is the Union Pacific Railroad. They were 2 different companies back then. And then that shows you your tracks and the corresponding numbers so you know what the business is. Down here you see these are the ones, that one shows it's spiked. The diamond is a mile marker, and then the 9021, 9020, those are the track numbers for the associated businesses on the previous page. Continuing down, the Chino is a weird shaped track. So it comes down here. Down here it looks like it's a Y, but it's not. It's not a Y. The track turns, goes under the freeway, and continues toward the 71 freeway. This direction, the track continues to Chino. So where the track comes and turns down here, this covers the businesses such as General Telephone and Fabergé, because they were down this way. And then this shows the turn come around, coming down here and ending. These 2 tracks here used to be Interstate Foods Wonder Bread. They used to get train cars in and load them side by side with flour here. I think Fabergé is on one of these tracks here, along with General Telephone. But you can verify that by looking at the sheet. And then this is the end of the Chino branch in Pomona. Here's Town Avenue. And then, like I said, this was Wonder Bread, Interstate Foods. Next page gives us businesses again. This is going in toward Chino proper. You have Chino branch line, Chino storage track, California Brass Manufacturing, Highway Safety. I remember that place. Chino Team Track. I spent a lot of time on the Chino Team Track unloading boxcars from age 12, 13 to age 18. Chino Grain and Milling, Glass and Horse Shield, Chino West Leg Y, and then you got different manufacturing companies that are down there too. Continuing, Lee Track Vacant, Straight Door Supply Company, Truss Joist, Bandag. Bandag always gets cars down there. There's more businesses. More businesses. Spiked. Goodyear Truck Tire Center. 9194. See if I can remember that number. Okay, here's the Chino branch continuing. Shows it going under the Pomona Freeway. Over here, down here was where those other tracks were. And there isn't really anything along here. You've got a passing track and then a siding. And at Chino Avenue, the tracks turn, going from a diagonal, they become east and west. There's Chino Avenue again. This track here was for the sign company. This track here was the Chino Team Track. I unloaded a lot of boxcars on the Chino Team Track. Coming down around here, this was the turn. I don't know why they called it a Y. This is a turn that went down into further south Chino. 9194, this was a Goodyear plant. These tracks here show spiked. There's cars stored here. And they're used, some old hopper cars that are used to hold product. And then you've got, this is the tail track. Now when the local came through, the train, the engines were on the east side. So the engines came down all the way down into all these little, as far as they could go here, to clear the switch to back down the rest of the way. This was Chino Milling here, both these tracks. And then the branch continued south. Right after G Street, the track goes into street running. I have videos currently of them running down the street. Okay, continuing down, here's more of the Chino branch. This one here, 9129, is actually in the street. 9126, this is the street running down to Schaefer Avenue. And this spur, you'd be driving up the road and find a boxcar in the middle of the street. But it was on a siding in front of a business. Coming down here, you can see how these are all penciled in and made up as they go along. Because we had a Y coming down here, tracks continue on, a Y coming down farther down. And at one point, right about here, was Crown Coach Manufacturing, and they had a spur that came right into their property. There was a three-way spur, a three-way switch, 1, 2, and 3. But that isn't here on this video, on this one. Continuing on, this shows Monte Vista Avenue in Central, and this shows a track coming down farther over to the west. The branch came down right along like this. I'm guessing this is Edison. Maybe not sure how they did that. There we are. There's them. There's a better map. There's Monte Vista. See how far I can put this to get all the details. This is that track I told you was in the middle of the road. Street running here. Various businesses coming down Edison to short of the next street down, which would be Eucalyptus. There we are. And I'll hold it this way so you can see the track numbers. This is one busy branch. Still is today. I mean, the old days, back in the 70s, you'd have 3 or 4 SD9s pulling this train, and they'd be blocking Central Avenue for 20, 30 minutes. Okay, that's the end of the Chino branch. So, there you are. Let's stretch that out so you can see all the detail. There was a lot more to that in 1982. I don't know why it doesn't show it here, because tracks crossed Edison in 3 places. It shows 1, shows 2. I thought there was another one farther down, but I could be wrong. You know, I'm getting old. Memory shot.